right, guys. Well, we are out on a mission today. We are headed to the Tehachapi Loop up in Tehachapi, California. I'm trying something new with the whole vlog setup. I am trying a little bit of background music. I'm doing it as a voiceover instead of with a microphone in my helmet. For one reason, and one reason only. I don't know that it's a good enough reason, but I can't listen to music when I have the microphone, because any music that's recorded and then produced into the video, well, it gets copyrighted and taken down. So this way I can enjoy the day filming, and then I can voice over afterwards. And I'll do it both ways. It was just, this is a long, this was a couple hour run. We were headed to a family get together, and I thought I'd grab the cameras. My wife and kids actually drove up a couple hours later. So here we are climbing up out of the valley. The slow terrain behind trucks just amazes me. In California, anything pulling a trailer has to run 55 miles an hour, and the rest of traffic gets to run 70. Well, you get on these two-lane roads and it's ridiculous, the difference in speed. And it just blows me away because of the technology in all these vehicles. They can stop better, than when these laws were put into place. I'm not entirely certain it needs to be that much different. The brakes in the semis, brakes in vehicles, brakes on everything are much, much better. So here we play I'm doing about between 50 and 55 here. We're going to get off at Keene, and we're going to take the old way, the old road before the freeway existed. Takes you through some really cool things, but I'm going to stop and water some trees here. So on the other side of the freeway here, little cafe called the Keene Cafe. Really cool breakfast spot, lunch spot, stop for a beer, Bloody Mary. A lot of motorcycles do it on weekends. It's kind of a hole-in-the-wall little place. As we pull up to it, you can see that it clearly has seen better times, but cool little spot. And those are the best places. So we're going to stop here. I'm going to go water some trees and do this video magic. You don't have to wait. So we're back on the bike, and we're just left Keene, and we're headed up towards the Tehachapi Loop, or towards the official viewing area. This area through Keene and Hart Flat, some of the most beautiful areas in the entire county. It's awesome. There's a lot of homes up here, a lot of just big, beautiful homes. Some properties with trailers. All kinds are up here. It's really cool. You get the rural life, but you also, at this point you're probably 30 minutes from Bakersfield, which is a town of about 400,000 people. So you've got all the amenities just to jaunt down the road. So the railroad on the left, what's so cool about this whole thing, it's coming through the Tehachapi Mountains. And it was built in the 1870s. When you think about what tools they did or didn't have in the 1870s, and then you look at this and it just blows your mind. It's like, you look at the pyramids in Egypt. Same concept, very minimal tools, and they were just doers. So this region of railroad, including the loop, was all built by Chinese labor back in the 1870s. They were in some cases worked to death over this thing, but coming up here, we'll see the lookout, and I brought my drone. We'll get the drone up, and we'll fly it around, see if we can get some better angles of the loop itself. Now, I did learn that the day we're up here on this ride, the track is actually closed for maintenance. They had some issue, and they had it shut down in the valley and up in the mountains. So there are no trains coming through it today, which normally you would see a train about every, they say, about every 25 to 35 minutes. It is the single busiest single track lane in the United States railway system. And that's pretty amazing. But if you ever look at a railroad map, I mean, this is a very needed route. You know, they're not going to duplicate this for no reason. They're going to utilize the hell out of it. They do, obviously. So between 25 and 35 minutes, you'll see a freight train come through here all day long. And if you're ever curious, you can go to Tehachapi Loop live cams, and they've got some live YouTube videos going on up here, and you can just see what, you know, I'm going to try and iterate for you. The loop itself, it only gains 76 feet in altitude as you're climbing the loop. But for the span of it, it's a 2.5% grade. So, I mean, you think, you know, those dudes don't have rubber wheels, you know, dig it into the dirt. I mean, they're steel wheels on steel rail. So it's pretty aggressive, especially through this region. It's fairly steep. Well, you guys saw well, it really doesn't show on the road or on the camera how steep that some of these roads are. You think a train's coming through here. But pretty cool. And this is such a beautiful ride. You know, being 30 minutes from home right now, it's probably 15 to 20 degrees cooler where I'm at than it was at home. Which in the dead of summer, this is a beautiful ride. When it's 105 at home, we get out of Valley early, and we run up on one of these roads and just make a day of it. And then we hold our breath on the way back down. You know, come 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's blazing about 110. But it's the cost of riding in the summer. You know, a lot of regions in the country can't ride in the winter. You know, a lot would say that you can't ride in the summer here. Well, I ride year round. I mean, I'll bitch about it. Don't get me wrong. It's hot. But we don't have humidity. I mean, our humidity level is about 15% most of the time. So, you know, you get in the shade, you'll cool right off. You know, it's not like some of these places that have 70, 80% humidity and you just look like you got out of the shower. All right, here's the lookout for the Tehachapi Loop. We're going to zip this thing into a parking spot. I'm going to get the drone up in the air and see if I can give you a little bit of perspective of what I was describing. And again, remember that this was all built in a time where there was no GPS, there was no computers. You know, this was just a man and a shovel and probably some sad version of a tractor, or, you know, your heavy equipment wasn't much of anything at that time. So you see the track come in on the bottom of the screen, and it goes up and around that mound, and just on the left to center of the screen, you see a black hole. Well, that's where the track goes under itself and continues on the path. So the direction we're looking, the train would be going down the loop. And, of course, if you follow it coming back towards us, it's going up the loop. So, again, 2.5% grade. This is just phenomenal. I mean, these freight trains, you know, they can get 2.5 miles long. And as long as the train, I was reading, as long as the train's 3,700 feet long, it will loop around the mound and go through the tunnel while it'll loop around the mound, go through the tunnel under itself. So, and most trains, I mean, 3,800 foot, that's what, 2/3 of a mile. And a lot of these trains are 2.5 plus miles, you know, I think up to 3 mile freight trains. So I wish we could have seen one. I'll have to come back up here and see if I can get some good drone footage of a train going through here. But, you know, to think back in the day when this was built, I mean, that was all steam locomotives back then. They had to have water stations and coal filling stations. I mean, those, you know, without water, they'd burn up. Without coal, they wouldn't run. Just kind of cool to think about, you know, all the infrastructure that had to be put in place. And I'm sure there's places along the route that you can still see where some of the water towers were. I don't know what kind of interval they are. But in the kind of left to center towards the bottom, you can kind of see the tunnel where it goes under the track that would cross itself. Then if you look to the right on the mound in the center of the circle, there's a cross. That is a cross that memorializes several people that were killed in a train derailment in San Bernardino County, which is not far as the crow flies from where we are right now. It literally probably 15 miles and you're in San Bernardino County. I don't know what year or how many people were killed or exactly what happened, but they are that cross does commemorate the accident that killed several. But yeah, no passenger trains. There used to be some, back 30, 40 years ago that you could take a ride through here, which would be really cool. I don't know if you'd get a real perspective being in the train, but there you look at that perspective right there. You could really see how tight of a circle that is. And the increase, well, it is coming up the grade. You are increasing 77 feet, which is a 2.2% grade as it continues up. So there's a look to the south as the canyon would go down to the valley. I'm going to turn to the right here, and that will be looking back up to the top of the canyon. And you can see, so there's 9 tunnels also that were created in the making of this railway. Again, built in 1870. They, armed with some dynamite and shovels, they went blasting through and they got the job done. I don't know that many people would set out to get that done right now, or in 2022. Hell, I can't even cut a board straight, and these people are out laying tracks that are just mesmerizing 150 years later. This is such a beautiful area this time of year. I mean, it is all year, but it's super green right now. Typically, it'll kind of brown out a little bit as it gets warmer, because we just flat don't get a lot of rain. So what's green pretty much dies. Like, we've seen pretty much all the rain we're going to see until probably October. And what are we? We're beginning of April. We might get another week of rain here sometime in April, but then it'll be done until probably late September, early October. Which I know people are like, he's exaggerating. No, I'm not exaggerating. They don't call this place a desert for no reason. See right up in the center. You can see right up in the center of the shot there, just to the left of center, you can see the dirt area where I'm standing at flying the drone. I hadn't flown the drone in quite a while, and it was had to all come back to me. But to me, that's a postcard picture right there. Those are some beautiful shots. Get it back to me. So we're going to work through getting it back on the ground. one last look at the Tehachapi loop. Beautiful engineering marvel of 150 years ago. All right, now we're going to get this puppy on the ground one way or another. It's all coming back to me how to fly this thing, so we'll have to... Here in this shot, you can see where I'm standing, right above those brush rows, or so the rain doesn't wash it down. So here you can see where I'm standing on the concrete lookout. You can see the 3 bikes up there to the left. We're gonna get this puppy on the ground, and we are gonna beat feet to the family barbecue that we're headed up here for. My brother and sister-in-law live up here. No, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live up here. So we're headed to a birthday party. I just thought I'd take the camera out for a ride. There you go. Me and my Crocodile Dundee hat. / old man hat. I love it. All right, guys, well, we're going to end it about here. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Hope it was a little informative. Let me know what you think about the voiceover work. I don't know if I'll do it again. I do enjoy riding with the camera and the microphone, so if this turns out okay, then maybe we will. All right, now we are going to haul the mail up to the bar, or to the birthday party. Nothing better than on a back road like this, and tunes blaring, and just starting to throw this thing into some corners. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.